Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you're all very well. How should you position your feet when you are driving? This is a question that puzzles many learner drivers. In fact, I should really say it puzzles many drivers, even qualified drivers. You get some people, some drivers, who position their foot over the accelerator, and when they want to brake, they lift up their whole foot and brake, like so. It's a very good method if you want to build up your leg muscles. As well, you'll only build up your right muscle though. It's not really a good method because it gives you a jerky drive. Every time you stop, you jerk forward. When you accelerate, again, you'll get a jerk. So that's the method that you definitely want to avoid. Another way that you can position your feet is you get some drivers who position their foot in the middle, have the heel on the floor and position their feet in the middle, so that way they've got access to both pedals. It's not a bad idea. It actually is far better than the first method of raising your whole leg. Riveting between the two pedals like so gives you a smoother drive. And also you can brake firmly if you need to do so. But how many times would you need to accelerate all the way fully down? You should never have to press the accelerator all the way fully down. You should only be using the accelerator about thickness of a pound coin at a time. So the best way of positioning your right foot, the way that I position my foot is I keep it over the brake pedal, in line with the brake pedal, and have my heel on the floor. That way, if I do need to suddenly brake, I've got the whole force of my leg and I can brake firmly and under control. If I need to accelerate, I can accelerate. And I don't need to press the accelerator fully down. I don't need to press the accelerator with force. So this is a really good method, because you may, hopefully you won't, but you may need to press the brake with force, but you'll never need to press the accelerator with force. So that's the ideal position. What about the clutch pedal? The clutch pedal is a little bit more complicated. Now, just like I've just said there, that you should ideally have your heel on the floor, a lot of instructors say the same thing, but they forget to tell you about the clutch. Now, let me demonstrate what happens if the clutch pedal is on if the heel is on the floor of the clutch pedal. So I'm going to keep my foot just a little bit to the left so that you can see the clutch. Now, the heel's on the floor, I've put my clutch down and everything is fine. But if I leave my heel on the floor and I raise the clutch, you can see my foot is going higher or the clutch is going lower, whichever one. And you can see now my toes are no longer on the pedal. In fact, it's the middle part of my foot that's on the clutch. And if I press it again the second time, and you can see my foot's actually got stuck now, and it's got stuck under something, under some panel. So that can actually be very dangerous, to have your heel on the floor all the time for the clutch. Now, if you raise your whole leg, it's actually quite difficult to get the biting point. You imagine you have to get the biting point and you're in slow moving traffic and you're just moving forward a little bit and then slowing down, forward a little bit, slowing down. That is very hard work to do that with your heel in the sky. Whereas if your heel is on the floor, you can drive for hours like that. Try it at home. Try sitting down, have your heel on the floor, no problem at all. You can watch a whole movie. But now, try to raise your heel just a few centimeters off the ground, and after a minute, you'll find that your leg muscles will start getting tired and your leg will eventually start shaking. It's quite difficult. So the method I use, I put my clutch down and then I raise the clutch up slightly, leaving my heel on the floor until I've got the biting point. So higher the clutch and I've got the biting point. Once you've got the biting point, the car starts to move, you can then raise your heel off the floor and come off the clutch fully. So that's the method for the clutch. Once again, the clutch goes down, you leave your heel on the floor, and that will help you to get a steady biting point. If your heel's on the floor, you've got control. You can use that as leverage and slowly come off the clutch and feel the biting point. Once you've got the biting point, do not suddenly come off the clutch. Once you've got the biting point, hold the clutch there steady just for a second or two, and then you can take your heel off the floor and slowly come off the pedal. Now, the other thing I want to mention is I've spoken about the heel. The top of the foot, the toes, ideally is what should be controlling the pedals. So the accelerator pedal, you don't want, let's talk about the brake pedal first, sorry. So you want to start off like this, just so you're controlling the brake with the toes and not high up there. So, and the accelerator there, even though you can see I'm not covering the whole of the accelerator, just like half of the accelerator, that is fine. Even if your feet are just touching the accelerator like so, that's fine, because the accelerator pedal you should never have to put fully and completely down with force. So don't worry if your foot is not covering the accelerator fully. As long as it's covering the brake pedal or the majority of the brake pedal, then you're okay. Same with the clutch pedal. You don't want to start off in the middle. You want to, because that's not going to give you control. You'll get more control if you're using your toes. Well, I hope you found that beneficial. If you want a quick recap, your foot should be covering the brake, riveting between the two pedals like so, and with the clutch, heel on the floor, clutch down, and then as you come off the clutch, feel the bite. Once you've got the bite, hold it for a second and then fully off. Well, I hope you found that video to be beneficial. If so, as usual, please give it a thumbs up, as you know that it helps us to make more videos. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves.